Well, if you are anything at all like me, then not knowing where to begin with simplifying or decluttering your space can be a huge roadblock for making progress. But in today's video, I want to share with you the steps that I followed to make insane progress in my own home, decluttering about 85% of our family's possessions. Let's hop right in. Number one, know your why. What are the big reasons for you wanting to declutter your space? I've talked about this recently, but for me, I wanted to spend less time cleaning so that I could spend more time with my family, my kids, and then I wanted more time for personal development. So those were my big reasons. I was tired of feeling burdened by my stuff and having it rob me of my time, especially, but money, of course. In fact, let me know what your reason is down in a comment. Next, know your method. There are so many different ways that you can go about decluttering your space. My favorite being the onion method, and I'll tell you kind of how to break that down because I think this is probably the most effective way you can strategically go through your house. But you can also do fill a bag challenges and just run through your house with a garbage bag and fill it, spend 10 minutes or grab 21 items, and you can just do this over and over again until you feel comfortable and ready to maintain. There are also so many cool challenges on the internet. There's I call it like the backwards decluttering method. I think normally you do like one, for 30 days, you do like day one, declutter one item, day two, declutter 2 items. I go reverse on that one. I say day one, declutter 30 items, day two, 29 items, and you're gonna work your way down to 1 item. So there are really a few ways that you can approach this, but like I said, the onion method is my favorite. This is where you peel away the layers of your home, and to do this, I like starting with a list. I go through and make a list of absolutely every area in my home that I want to declutter. I don't have a home office or a craft room, but I do have a loft, so you're gonna have to adjust this for whatever your needs are. But go ahead and break it down as specific as you can. Kitchen, upper cabinets, lower cabinets, pantry, fridge. So make things really, really specific. You are gonna go through and check these off and then save your list. This is your personal master list. These are the things that you are going to go back and redeclutter and redeclutter and redeclutter until you feel completely comfortable. In fact, I will leave my master list, my personal master list, down in the description box, and I've broken this down into weekly, monthly, and every 6 months, which is really, really good for maintaining after you get everything kind of sorted through. Next, you need a plan. When are you going to declutter? Try and choose times where you have higher energy. For me, decluttering at night just doesn't work. I'm exhausted. I want to chill. I want to veg. This is not realistic. So for me, decluttering during the day when I'm just up and about anyway was perfect. And then I used weekends to declutter as well, Saturday time, but I would only block out about an hour. So decide when you're going to declutter. When is it going to work best for you, and try as best you can to keep this commitment. Even if you don't feel motivated, you can be dedicated to the process, and this is when you're really going to start seeing results. Gather your supplies. I like keeping this as absolutely basic and minimal as possible. So for me, supplies are black trash bags, and then I really like decluttering with a box. The reason I like having a box, and especially a little bit larger box, is I can contain the mess inside the box, and if I get stopped or have to pause for some reason, everything is contained within one area and it's not strewn all over the place. I learned this several months into my decluttering process, and it made a really, really big difference. It doesn't work as well for me, someone who is very prone to overwhelm, to pull everything out Marie Kondo style. That is just not my personality at all. I work so much better with smaller areas, and having that box that I can just kind of close the lid on and push aside to finish later if necessary just really makes a huge difference. So only empty into the box the contents that will fit, and then go through each item, touching each thing, and make fast decisions on whether or not you've used it in the last 6 months, whether it is something that is contributing to the goal that you have set for yourself and your life. If it's not, it can go. And then black trash bags, so convenient for not second guessing yourself. And I've talked about this over and over again, so I don't want to dwell too long, but really having a black trash bag, not only are they huge, but it's really nice when you can't see inside and your kids can't see inside either. Because I've had kids come up, Mom, hey, why'd you get rid of this? I'm like, because you haven't played with it in 2 years and I found it under your bed covered in dust. Next, you need to have a strategy for stopping clutter from coming into your space. How are you going to manage the influx of items and products to kind of keep the progress that you've made to maintain the space while you're continuing to go through your stuff? So I made a couple of videos on how I did this, but number one, it's pretty basic, pretty simple. Stop shopping. I know it's kind of hard, especially if you're in the habit of shopping a lot, but I only shopped for things that I absolutely needed. So if I needed to replace something that was broken, absolutely I could do that. If the kids outgrew clothes, of course I could go and buy new ones. I like having a replacement activity, so every time I get tempted to shop, I have something else that I can do instead. Whether this is call a friend, read a book, do an activity with my preschooler, you can also write this out and come up with a list of things that you are going to be motivated to do, and just every time you feel that temptation, refer back to that list and do something else instead. I get asked all the time how to get your spouse or partner on board with decluttering. This is kind of tough in one way and easy in another. Tough because there really is no way to do this respectfully. You have to just do that. Respect their space, respect their stuff, just worry about your stuff. And likely they will see how excited you are and the progress you're making and how much more freedom you feel. And it is very likely that they will want to do the same. So perfect example, I helped my husband out with a recent project. I organized underneath his bathroom cupboard for him. And because of this, he said this specifically, I got so inspired after you organized underneath my bathroom cupboard. I went through all my clothes, and he got rid of more than 2 trash bags full of clothing. So it's really awesome. So you can kind of help out in that way. All right, you need resources. You need things that are going to help you stay on track. Like I said before, you don't need motivation to make progress. You do need dedication to the process, but it is really nice to have motivation. So I love watching YouTube videos. I love the Minimal Mom. She's somebody that I've mentioned before, but she really has minimized a lot more than me for sure. And she really is able to go deep with her strategies, and the way she has simplified is just impressive to say the least. And she makes videos, I think twice a week or every week. So she always has something new and fresh to get you motivated and ideas for you to approach decluttering. Dana K. White from A Slob Comes Clean. She's another one that really breaks things down for you and helps you know how to approach specific areas of your home and make progress. And her big push is making progress without making a big mess, and then how to see visible progress instantly. I adore her approach. Obviously, Natalie Bennett, she is one that I have loved and adored for years. She has a really gentle approach to decluttering, which I think is very relatable for a lot of people. And she has a whole Messy to Minimal series that is incredibly motivating, and she really breaks down her process as well. And she's a mom, and she really brings motherhood into her process and her thinking, which I think is incredibly beneficial. Clutterbug is another channel. Her name is Cassie, and she really focuses on organizing as well as decluttering. So if you're kind of in the place where you are ready to maintain, you're ready to organize, she is your girl. She will break it down. She will show you different ways of organizing your space depending on your personality. She's absolutely brilliant. So I will leave all of their channels linked down below. The Minimalist Way by Erica Lane is one of my favorite books. This is the one that really jump-started my progress. I have like so much highlighted here. It's kind of broken down into like a workbook type structure as well, which is really, really nice for honing in on your specific needs for your home. Real life organizing. This is by Cass, who has the YouTube channel Clutterbug, and she gives real life examples of her home, how she's broken things down, and how she has started to organize her space. So I love this one. It's an incredible resource. Decluttering at the Speed of Life is by Dana K. White, and she is from A Slob Comes Clean. Oh my goodness, this is an amazing read as well, especially if you just need really specific tips on how to break down your space and kind of get past different decluttering roadblocks you might face. All right, let's say you have done all of these things. You know your why, you know your strategy, you have your list, you have your supplies, you've got your resources, all of it is in place, and you are still incredibly overwhelmed. I totally hear you. Set the timer for 10 minutes. Now, where you're really gonna see progress is by doing this every single day. So maybe what you're gonna need to do is get your box. Say you start, let's just use the closet as an example, and you're gonna start working with the items that are gonna fit in the box. You're just pulling things off the shelves, putting clothes into the box, and you set the timer for 10 minutes. And the box is still not empty. You haven't sorted through everything. You haven't made decisions about everything. That is fine. 10-minute timer goes off. You are done for that day. Tomorrow, get back to your box and do not stop going back to that box until it is completely empty, working in 10-minute increments. Here is a playlist on the screen of more videos giving you motivation and tips for decluttering and organizing your space. Thanks for joining me today.